Hey everyone, welcome to Reading the Green and our golf DFS show. My name is Mike, Kyle, and Jordan here as well. On August 23rd, we have the BMW Championship recap, the preview for the last event of the PGA Tour season, the Tour Championship, and we'll just kind of spend some time wrapping things up. Jordan and I have been hanging out for a little while here because we had the swag NFT art reveal, which we spent a lot of time talking about on last week's episode, and we tried to record some content at the time of reveal, but it still hasn't happened. So I guess we'll see. This could be hours, could be days, who knows.
Yes, but Mike, you were talking earlier about your video editing software being down. Is that that's a online tool? My guess is it's tied together, because I heard it was actually impacting whatever outage there was impacting a lot of things on the internet.
And actually, that's actually okay. I didn't know where you were going with that. You're gonna make a joke. No, it was down. It was down until about like 10 minutes ago, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was something.
That
overall.
Sounds like
anyways,
a very swag bros excuse. I don't know.
So it does. But we're excited because this, Kyle, it sucked us in now, and like the competition for those one-of-one NFTs and what they're gonna sell for, and how we're gonna pay for our trip to Vegas next year for the AM golf trips,
Yes, I own NFTs, Kyle. I'm cool. I'm Web 3.0.
Okay, I'm down for the golf trip and paying for that. I listened to the pod last week that took place without me. I did not understand a good 5 minutes of the first 10 minutes of the episode.
It's like every time you talk about what you do at work, Mike and I are just like, cool, so you make dirty water clean?
Yeah, exactly.
Dirty dirt clean? Something like that?
Well, anyways, so something's gonna happen. I got it up on here, another monitor, so in case something does happen, we can just cut in and talk about it. But that being said, we can talk about golf the rest of the time. The first thing, obviously, like this Will Zalatoris stuff is devastating.
No
bueno. 2 herniated discs.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, and he doesn't. I mean, I think the No Laying Up pod described as watching him in person for the first time as a rubber band,
right.
Swinging a golf club. And, granted, I haven't seen Will in person, but I can understand that. And just with his body type and how violent his swing is, it's scary to have an injury like this.
I know. And like herniated, this is like, I had a bulging disc several years ago that like you can rehab that and you can squeeze it back into place. But like if it's herniated, like he's talking about like steroids and surgery in his future, and that's not good for golf.
You heard how it happened, right? Like what caused it?
I did not. Tell us.
I couldn't keep a straight face, Kyle, when you started smirking. It's from all those years of carrying Happy's bag.
Yeah, I have not seen that on Twitter. That's a good one. I like that.
Wait, let's post that. That can be
It's like that's specifically the moment in which he's slamming him on the ground and he's sitting on top of him.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Let's post that picture and tag Adam Sandler and ask him if he's covering this as workers' comp.
Jordan's first contribution to our Twitter game.
Oh my God, yes. I think Happy Gilmore's on Netflix. I could probably just go and and get the actual image. We'll see. But yeah, I just feel bad for the dude. Like he just really he hasn't even reached his peak yet, and who knows? This is going to be bigger than missing the Tour Championship and the President's Cup. Like this is like questionable if he has a golf game for the Masters next year.
Ugh.
So
that's not cool.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next topic. And Jordan, we talked about the FedEx Cup playoffs and the format and all that. And actually, I saw some people making the point around like more cuts. And you brought this up, but like more cuts through these tournaments would be kind of interesting and really kind of whittle down to like a final, couple of rounds of 8 players or whatever it is would be kind of interesting. So it got me thinking about other league playoff formats, and if there was like something interesting from one of those leagues that you could somehow translate to golf, and would that make it fun? And so I don't know, I just wanted to get your thoughts. So between like having a selection committee in the college football playoff, or having like multiple rounds and series against the same opponent for multiple weeks, or having just this massive one and done tournament that focuses on finding the Cinderella story, like what I don't know, is there anything interesting in the rest of pro sports that would make sense for golf?
You know, when you were texting earlier, you said soccer. I don't know what happens there.
I have no idea.
You could do a really cool model with the Corn Ferry Tour, and like the top 20 people in this week's Corn Ferry Tour get promoted to next week's PGA Tour event, and the bottom 20 people, you know, obviously there's like exemptions and things like that if Scheffler has a bad week or something, drop down to the Corn Ferry Tour, right? Like get that movement going to make it interesting, right? And like, you know, some guy may have sucked on the Corn Ferry Tour all year, played a great round, and then suck again the next week, but then he's back down. I think it could just be interesting. You know, they're.
I think the golf fans in Alabama at whatever Corn Ferry stop there deserve to see Scotty Scheffler every now and then.
That it would be interesting. Like, would he just crush it? Like, why not? Honestly, when a player comes back from injury, why don't they go play a Corn Ferry Tour like in baseball, right? They go and they light up AAA, and they're like, oh, these guys suck, and then they come, right? That'd be
the thing that crossed my mind. The thing that crossed my mind that I thought was maybe most intriguing was somehow borrowing the idea of, because like in baseball and football, or baseball and hockey and basketball, the idea is you have these teams play each other a bunch so that it is most likely that the best team wins over the course of 7 games.
Yeah.
Like in golf, like what if they took the final, you know, let's say you took the top 100 players, and you put them in these like mini flights of 10 or 4, whatever it is, whatever number it is, and they had to play like 4 rounds, and it's like whoever was the best out of those 4 rounds advanced to the next stage. And so you basically got pitted against some little pod or something like that.
I mean, that's kind of what we have in the match play, though, right? Like,
it is what you have in the match play.
Pod. Yeah, I think the hard thing with golf specifically is balancing the hot player at the time and performance over the whole year, right? So that's kind of what they try to do with the seeding approach. But then here we are with like, and then you wait. At the same time, you wait the playoffs more, and now we have Sepp Straka as the 7 seed this week or whatever it may be.
Right.
It's hard.
What
off the cuff thought. So
yeah.
I've been, since you first texted this, I've been pretty occupied with making dirty water clean all day today. So I am coming into the pod pretty hot here and didn't really have time to think about it. So as we talked, here's what I came up with: 2 events. Top 100 FedEx Cup points, or whatever measure you want for the year. First event. Second event, just 50. So get rid. I'm cutting down 1, going to 50. But that final event gets a little crazy. Start with 50. After the first day, 25 is gone. So just whoever plays the best 25, you make it to Friday. Only out of those 25, only 16 make it Saturday, and then it's a match play seeding from there. So then you eliminate 8 on Saturday, and you go into Friday, and then you just continue the match play out until you have 1-on-1 to finish.
The thing that I so first of all, I do think that getting to fewer players later in the event is better. Like 30 players still feels like too much to care about, and for the championship.
Yeah.
The problem is with golf, and it's different than any other sport, is that it's really hard to watch 2 guys play golf. Like if they're the only 2 guys in the event, there's so much downtime.
You know what you do in that downtime? You just have the chain smokers playing a different hole.
No, you have Tiger at Topgolf.
But I think that's the problem that we don't think about as commissioner for a day is like how the PGA Tour continues to make money and actually like have golf on TV, and even though they barely have any golf on TV these days.
So
Jordan.
that's Kyle. Minus the match play, I like that concept. Don't go to match play. Go to, Saturday. There's
alternate shot.
There's 12 people, and you and you go off in 3 foursomes, and it's just like make them play like normal.
What?
And then the next day there's the top 4 people out of those 12. It's a foursome playing, or maybe you do 8, like you said, Micah. So you have multiple groups out there. But like, I would love to see them play as a foursome. Even like, this is very anti PGA golf, but like put a timer on and be like, all right, foursome, you have 5 hours to play. If you don't get done, you don't get done.
It's so hard to it's so hard to sell tickets for that. Like, you're gonna put 40,000 people on the golf course to watch one group play. Like, it's like the Ryder Cup. You're out there watching just like a dozen golfers.
But like at a lot of these, maybe not at the Tour Championship, but at the 3M Open, it probably would have been okay on Sunday to only have, let's say 4 foursomes, right? The final round is only 16 people.
Well, if there's a time to blow it up, it is this, right? It is the one like gimmicky kind of event that the PGA does. And maybe to borrow from, granted, I'm not a member at a course anywhere, but like some of your guys' member tournaments, right? What if you got down to the final 16 and you had an 8-some go off the front and an 8-some go off the back?
Shootout. Yeah, that's
eliminated
like
one per hole,
and
then the last 2 guys faced off.
I mean, even just like, a lot of guest tournaments are 9-hole matches, right? So like we're
like getting into live territory here.
Only for one event, not
just once in a while. Make it interesting, right? Have these guys play Thursday, Friday, 3 9-hole matches each day, right? And then they get into a smaller pod on Saturday and they play 3 more, right? That's 4. You can get a pot of 4 and you play 3, and then just to,
all right,
got to make it interesting. We're
gonna need to illustrate this. I think the point is we need to get to a fewer number of golfers to like really feel, because that's what's gonna happen this weekend. Is it still gonna self-select to like 8 players that actually matter? And actually, and we'll get to this in the second half when we talk about the actual Tour Championship preview, but the pacing, the scoring, and then the raw scoring, there are some weird things that are going to shake out. Last suggestion. We could make it kind of like adult co-rec kickball, and everybody just plays all the games and gets a t-shirt at the end, and that feels good.
Hey, all 30 you made it? Here you go.
Well, they all get to go to the Masters, and so
Willie Z's still gonna get 500,000 for his WD 30.
I know. So how about we talk a little bit about the BMW Championship, really quick on Willie Z. Kyle, I think you told me this, and I wasn't quite sure what was going on because I did not see the chiropractor working on Willie Z on the golf course. But did you say that it was like 20-30 minutes and like groups were playing through and he was going to somehow like re-enter the golf tournament?
Yeah, so I actually wasn't watching live either. I was getting updates because I was like, we were on vacation. I was in and out of the situation. Right. But yeah, I heard it directly from a pod source that was texting us, but then I've heard a couple other pods talk about it, that groups were playing through. So I think he was playing with Gorillo, who was just hanging out there as they're letting groups play through, and then he just ends up going to play by himself after Willie withdrawals. I didn't know you could do that, to be honest.
How do you?
No, I don't think you can. I mean, Cam Smith drops a ball that like grazes the hazard line and gets a penalty 24 hours later, and they're gonna let Will Zalatoris take a half-hour break in the middle of a round.
And it was okay though. Everyone had agreed that they're anti-live, so then they all sing Kumbaya before, and they're cool.
I knew it.
But that had to have messed up like Grillo, right? If you don't play for 30 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Especially in between shots, not even like the hole's over. I
didn't see where he finished because he was one of our guys. He was one of our model guys last week, and I don't think he played all that well. But Yeah, that's it. That was fascinating. So I mean, tournament overall, I think again, while this player would have deserved the win based on his play, I don't think anybody wanted Scott Stallings to win, just as nobody wanted Sepp Straka to win. And thank God Patrick Cantlay took care of that, getting the ridiculous bounce he did on 17. But that certainly pays off. And Xander too. Xander is the no-cut king, and somehow just shows up this time of year when he doesn't have to worry about a cut.
No cut king.
So
And
I
now
don't know. I didn't
he's
watch
gonna
much
cost
either.
an arm and a leg this week.
I
Yeah.
actually watched a decent amount. I didn't mind the course overall. There's some. I heard some complaints like on 5 that said like if you were actually there, it wasn't a good golf hole, but from a viewing perspective, it was interesting. I wouldn't be surprised to see an event back here. It played kind of tough. So
Well, listener league wise, this was probably the most exciting part of the weekend for me, as I was playing golf at the time that the tournament was finishing with 90-degree rule that ends up winning back-to-back. So he wins the FedEx St. Jude's Listener League contest, wins the BMW Listener League contest. And what I had to listen to on the golf course from 90-degree rule, it was relentless. Winners just hang around. Winners know when to, rise to the occasion. I can't say the same about his golf game, but it was the chatter was nonstop. It wasn't all Koziak podium, just so you guys know. 3 Koziaks in the top 3 in the Listener League this week. So
that's
Or-
we know it's a weird event when that happens.
Yeah. Or 90-degree rule. He really scraped the bottom for 3/4 of the season, and these weird events he's doing well.
Yep. I don't know. DFS wise, I was very solid this weekend. I think I was catching money in every contest that I was in. A lot of Cantlay and Schauffele anchoring a lot of my lineups. So
Yeah, I only put through, like, I did 2 cash games with like groups of people, not random ones online. One of them was almost 450 points, and then RTG was much worse.
I
won. I got first place in one in RTG. I think I got like 10th. So the RTG group is much better than than my neighborhood.
I did okay. Should have done better. But we did have some good plays pop up. Model shout out for the Adam Scott play from McKay, our boy McKay over at Fantasy Pros. Only 2 mentions, but because he was on him 100 MPI and he was 5th in DraftKings points, so pretty good value at 8,000.
Yeah, I will say so we usually, we tweet out our top model plays, and we try to give you the top of the overall conversation, the share percentage, and the power index. And the power index, Kyle, I texted you this. The power index is beating our model average DK points wise, I think by like 25 points over the last 7 weeks. So when we're looking at players ranked 80 or above on our power index, it has been a gold mine lately. And so I've really tried to dial into that for a handful of contests. And this week was no different. Like you said, Adam Scott down to Patrick Cantlay were really good on the power index scale. So I guess with that, what are you guys drinking tonight? And then we'll take a quick break.
I'll go ahead and start because it's my second beer. The first one was good. This one really, when you get Blue Mountains, it's going to be good. My beer fridge is a tragic place right now. I had a modest Blackstack, like 10%er, and that was my last.
that
beer
came
that
out like 8 months ago.
Yes.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Jordan's beer fridge is usually a great place to find great beers from last year.
or like 8 years ago. Call back to the hop dish
That hop slam.
Hop slam.
Or hop slam.
Yeah.
Hop slam. Yeah, hop slam.
That made 2-3 moves.
Oh, there's a few real shitty ones in there that we've got for maybe the Fortinet Championship podcast. We can just have a bad
The
beer
Fortnite.
night.
I have a beer from a listener that I'm saving for some time when we're together. So maybe the Fortnite Championship would be good.
Fortnite it is.
All right.
Just in case you didn't know, the Fortnite is also the currency of Hungary. I am drinking a gas station pickup, and here in my locality of Houston this week, Crawford Black classic ballpark beer. So real quality.
All right.
Oh, can get it.
Is it
anyway. Has the
is it
Houston
3-2?
Astros logo.
Oh,
Right.
nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's 4-5. You know, the Crawford boxes out in left field of
All
what used to be called Minute Maid Park. I don't know what it's called these days. Anyway.
And I have a DDH version of Blackstack's Pull Tabs Pale Ale. I really appreciate the advice from the guys at my local shop, because like when I picked this up, I was warned it was really wound up with extra hops and I should let it chill for like a month, and I have, and it's pretty good. So
I think you win this round.
Yeah.
I win. I think I do too. I'm gonna go find another one here during the break and keep this thing rolling. So all right, quick break. Hey everyone, welcome back. We have the second half of the show, the preview for the Tour Championship. First, you can play DraftKings DFS with Reading the Green every week in our listener league. Someone needs to come in and take down 2-week reigning champ 90 Degree Rule. And so please join the league this week and take a few bucks out of our pockets. All right, Tour Championship, East Lake Country Club in Atlanta. Patrick Cantlay's defending champ. Patrick Cantlay's coming off another BMW Championship win. And did you know, Kyle, and we were just talking about this, you mentioned Kevin Na played very well last year.
Nah.
That's right. As did John Rahm, Xander Schauffele, Victor Hovland, Justin Thomas, all beat Patrick Cantlay in raw scoring, or however you want to refer to it. And obviously none of them ended up winning the Tour Championship. Second note, on the leaderboard from last year, 4 of the top 10 players now play on the LIV Tour, and 9 of the field of 30. I haven't heard that talked about, but a third of the field of the Tour Championship last year left for LIV.
And you don't really hear about those guys anymore. It's almost like they're not being challenged in their golf game and not really relevant to the world of golf.
It is fascinating how much someone like Bryson commanded the headlines of the PGA Tour, and I have not thought about him for a second in the last handful of months.
Yeah.
I agree.
And it's even, I don't know who those 9 of 30 people were, but like Brooks is declining, Patrick Reed is declining, Bryson can barely swing. Like, it's whatever.
No, I know.
Did you see on that note, did you see Xander Schauffele was being interviewed today? And he was asked who of the LIV guys he misses the most. And he said, well, from a competition standpoint, all of them. But on a personal note, I miss Dustin. Well, and AJ. You know, who doesn't, right? They're two beauties. AJ's full of one-liners. So he misses DJ's brother, Caddy, more than anyone else that's actually on tour.
I don't know. I know we.
You know, the only person I miss now that I found their Instagram is Pat Perez's wife.
I can only imagine.
who's posting videos of her like driving her Rolls Royce now. And it's like, wow, you were just
remember when I texted you and said all it takes is a couple of idiots in a generation to blow through that generational wealth. And we're talking about the bloodlines of Brooks and DJ
and Pat Perez. Yeah, generational wealth. Get out of here. Yeah.
All right. I would ask for comments on general strategy this week. It's a crapshoot, you know, as far as DFS goes.
So full disclosure, I usually do a lot of prep and research this week. I've done very little. I can tell you that Kevin Na was in the winning large contest. I think it was a $15. I don't think it was a milli, but $15 GPP contest last year. So he was part of the optimal lineup, and it was like 49.7. So I would say spend more of your money this week than normal.
Yeah.
Also, actually, the other thing to that too is I saw Rick Runga tweeted this out. Patrick Cantlay was only like 21st owned last year, starting with the league.
Okay.
Wow.
But,
Interesting. I mean, it's a big number. We can get into the model, but like understand that in the field, the pricing is going to look a little wonky. You're going to see Scotty Scheffler at 13.6 at the top of the of the salary board, and so, but then again, you are going to be able to play guys down all the way down to my guy, Tommy Tables at 5,000. So it's a little wonky.
Tommy, bottom of the table tables.
It's I mean, that's a travesty. It's so disrespectful, and this is when he's gonna shine. Anyways, Kyle, though, would you like to just at least anchor us somewhere in the model? I know that things are a little weird this week with content and how we normally do things.
Yeah, well, we actually got a little bit more out than I expected, to be honest. But we have Xander Schauffele leading the way at the top of the board, 57% mention share at this time. Also 57 on the MPI at 12,300. Followed by Rory at 10.8, 50% mention share. Scotty at 13.6 and 50% mention share. John Rahm at 10.9, 42% mention share, and Tony Finau at 9.6 and 42% mention share. I'm actually going to highlight the next one too, just so we can throw something out from a money saving standpoint. But some people are certainly looking closer to the bottom of the board, not Tommy Tables, but Aaron Wise, 5,400 right now, getting 28% mention share.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a week for studs, but you get to put 20% of the field in your lineup. So it's just going to really force you to kind of pick from all different parts here. I don't know. I haven't started building yet, but I think it's like you said, you're going to want to reach down to that 5 and 6K range, because ultimately, it's a small field. These guys can play well.
Yeah. I think one thing I'm going to do this week too is I'm just building. Granted, I'm cutting down the contest big time, but I'm just building one lineup, and it's going in the 3-4 contests I play. And hopefully it ends the year with the cherry on top.
It's wild as how cheap people really are in this, right? Like even Colin Morikawa. So Morikawa and Hoagie start at the same. Hoagie is what, 5,000, and Morikawa is 7,900.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is Morikawa worth $2,900 more than Tom Hoagie? That's crazy.
Well, you're asking the wrong guy, but in DK scoring, the pacing scoring matters for finishing position. So you are paying a premium for Scotty Scheffler because he gets an automatic. I mean, he's starting with a 10-point bonus because he's in first place. And so that is unlike any tournament. So we see pricing unlike any tournament. And I think that's the right way they have to do it. And
I was just thinking about like people that are on the same, like it has been an entire season and Morikawa and Hoagie are in the exact same spot, but in DK they're $3,000 apart.
Oh, they're both starting, or they both like what, -1, I think?
They're both 1 under.
Yeah, so that is an interesting thing. So that will be something that I don't know if you've heard this, Kyle, any of the pods that you've listened to this week, but if you can do some level of comparison between your starting position and your salary, that would tell me, Jordan, like you said, there is maybe some value to be had for Hoagie starting at being the cheapest guy, but actually not being the furthest down the starting positions.
Yep. Yeah, and that's one thing I would say too is look at the contest details if you have certain places, like if there's a league with your buddies, like for example, or in the Green League that you play, just because in looking through some of them, it doesn't look like the DraftKings has adjusted all of them appropriately. Because if you look at the finishing positions, for example, like it lists out finishing points to 50th. Granted, there's only 29 people in the field now. So just something to keep in mind. Like even, somebody who withdraws after they start, they're still getting 3 points for finishing 29.
Yeah, so dead last. What does first place get? 15?
30.
Oh, 30. So but only one person gets first.
Yep. So as far as core plays go, I mean, from my perspective, I think I love seeing Xander at the top here. This is where he's been thriving. His game has been sharp the last 2 months. But like you said, it's all big names. And I think it's going to be, can you pick out the 5K guy or the 6K guy? And our model would say Aaron Wise, Adam Scott, those guys are kind of prime for the taking at good value plays and been on the top of their game. So I like pairing up, one of those two with, Xander and maybe, Rom certainly came on at the end of last week, just like he did the week before. I don't know.
Yeah, I like Scott, just a guy that showed up in big field events at 6,600 this year. Good place to start. And then the models also love him, Sungjae, 9,100, but really solid NPI. So some of our contributors have been solid or strong this year are on him and think that's a good value. And granted, there's a little bit more game theory and calculus that goes in this week. So I'm even going to lean in a little harder to our model and the contributors that have been solid.
Yeah, good point. Great week to do that, to tail the guys that have been the best. We'll make sure that we get that content out before the tournament starts on Thursday, so you can follow the guys that we like to follow. I love that you called out Sungjae. Sungjae's hitting the ball great the last several events, but I don't think he's just quite put it together, so he doesn't really get the attention. I played a bunch of him last week, and he was fairly low owned.
And to Jordan's point, he's starting at 4 under, same as Cam Smith, same as Rory, same as Finau.
You get a huge price break.
I think people are going to look at it like normally you kind of look at guys from a price perspective and say, all right, he's going to be higher on, maybe who can I pivot around him? But I think it's not going to be that approach as much from a dollar standpoint this week as it is to starting position. So I think people are going to hammer Cam. I think people are going to want to play Rory. For Rory, you're paying 10-8. Cam Smith, who knows where people are, maybe at from a mindset there and a lot going on. But Sungjae, you're going all the way down to 9-1. So that's $1,700 of a price break from Rory. So I like that. And even a $500 price break from Tony.
Good stuff.
Before I make any picks, I have no idea what this golf course is. Is there any, what are
Donald Ross hit the ball long and straight, putt great. It's not as forgiving. This is, like I think when we talked about the Rocket Mortgage, it was like hit the ball wherever you want. Nobody, it doesn't really matter. But this is a course where you got to hit it long. It plays, I think it's a 7,400 yard par 70. So a lot of par fours. Got to hit it long. Trouble off the tee.
So it's not the Brian Harmon special.
Not the Brian Harmon special.
Okay.
But
but
$5,700,
that seems like a Jordan Dietrich play if there's ever.
I know, that's why before I opened my stupid mouth, because I have no idea what East Lake is like. So,
but you know what though? David Toms won his only major at East Lake PGA Championship. I don't remember what year, early 2000s, and we just talked about Kevin Na having a.
Is David Toms a 5'3" lefty?
He's a 5'4" righty.
Hey, oh, okay. No, but I'm still, you guys, we've covered the top of the model aplenty here. There's actually, I think there are 4 6 people that aren't in the model at all, which I find very interesting with only 30 people.
Do you have those off the top of your
I don't know who they are. But I just told you.
Well, Cam Smith wasn't, because I went to look for what his price point was, right?
Oh, yeah. So I'm looking at the bottom of the model here. And there's actually like, Neiman's at 91% mention power index, but at 8,300 seems aggressive. The one that there's 2 people down here that I keep looking at, Sahith Theegala and Sepp Straka.
Your boy, what is KH Lee in here? That's
No.
one we're missing. Yeah.
But it's just like Sepp, yeah, he's been playing great lately. $7,200. That's
I would lean.
Keep it. I like to ride the hot hand, right? I've been on Finau for a long time. I think Finau is a little spendy this week. So I'm going with Sepp and Sahith. You'll see him in my RTD lineup.
I love the preview. We didn't really prep tiers. I'm actually kind of surprised that tiers is even a thing this week. But it is available, and we're gonna skip that because I want to talk about the name game.
Yes.
And Jordan,
wait, who won last week? You did? What?
By 4 points. By 4 points, and that includes having Wyndham Clark on my team, the dude that had to play Sunday in about 2 hours without Zalatoris.
I had Will withdraw, so get out of here. My anchor.
Here I thought I texted you, and you said like I'm pretty sure you're gonna win no matter what.
So who got last?
Yeah, it was. What's that, Kyle?
So I got last.
You got last. Yeah.
I was supposed to prep something.
You were supposed to prep. So you know what? I will. Do you want to run it off the cuff here, or do you want to take 24 hours and you can do something on Twitter?
Do you have something prepped?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. I'll prep something. I'll prep.
Well, I mean, there's an obvious one out there. It's not fair across the 3 names. There are 3 players that start first name and last name start with S's. So we would obviously need to handicap it because Scotty Scheffler is favored by a lot. But you've got Scheffler, Scott Stallings, and Sepp Straka.
Yeah, let's let this simmer. Let's let this simmer for a night. We'll give Kyle a chance to come up with something.
Yeah, I got an idea, but yeah, let's let it.
All right. Okay. So with that, Kyle, I have a question for you as we wrap up the show.
All right.
I know you're not a big live golf talker, but you did obviously you were pretty plugged in on the players only meeting, and there was you kind of had prepped your list of players that you thought you had your 7 that you thought are the 7 that are going to announce.
Well,
and so
pure speculation 7. There no inside
I want to hear
here.
I want to hear the rationale for what you said. Cam Smith, Mark Leishman, obviously by that. Munoz, Tringali, Lipsky, Pan, and Johnny Vegas.
Yep. All right. So Tringali, Munoz, that one did get thrown out. I saw that one floated on Twitter. So that not completely made up there.
Which is true. Oh, no,
Yeah.
It is completely made up if it's just thrown out on Twitter.
Well, yeah. Like, I mean, I at least did pull that one out of thin air because some of these are just pulled out of thin air. So, in part, I should preface this. Some of these this is probably me trying to project a little bit and hoping that the list is underwhelming.
It's not the other guys that
I'm relying heavily on No Laying Up. If you haven't listened to the podcast from Monday, I strongly advise you do, or Sunday night. They make it sound like Decky and Cameron Young and Adam Scott are pretty pro PGA at this point. So good vibes there. So Tringali, that's strictly a play of, hey, the fireside collective article said there's 7 and there's 1 American. And he kind of made reference that they played last week but didn't make it this week, and that it wouldn't be a shocker. So it was kind of like, well, like
dude hasn't won on the PGA Tour. Might as well find a different spot to play.
So I'm actually feel pretty good about that guess. Lipsky is just I got nothing. See, like, hey, you can't get anyway. So and then CT Pan and Johnny Vegas are just both of kind of fitting the international market.
International outsiders, you don't really know. Like, Johnny Vegas, he rents a bunch of house. He's always staying in a house with Garcia and Ortiz and Munoz. They're always
exactly. And so there's that connection too. And they, not quite, those big PGA Tour names, but would bring some value. So that's what I was kind of thinking. But then I did probably walk it back a little bit. So Lipsky's probably the one that really doesn't fit the other ones. I think the other ones are probably valid.
I just got that text and I was like, where did these guys come from? I haven't heard anyone talk about them. So if you're right on any of those, I mean, good.
So the one thing though, I want your guys' take on. So we've heard about Team Australia, right? So it's going to be Cam Leishman. You already have Matt Jones, right, over there.
Right. Yep.
So who's the fourth? If Adam Scott's not going, who's the fourth guy at Team Australia? Is it Jason Day?
Man, that's not a bad.
Someone else over there that was a no name that was Australian.
Well, there
could be. I mean,
there is one. Listener Derek was also joking around with us about me or with me.
I thought maybe Brett Druitt, your guy Kyle, might
drew it. Yeah, he didn't slice it. He drew it.
I don't know who else from the Australian contingent would do that.
Jediah Morgan is over there already. Blake Windred, Wade Ormsby, Travis Smith.
Yeah, Travis Smith was the one, Derek.
There's a bunch of.
Sounds like they can. What do they need? What do they need Cam Smith and Mark Leishman for? They're going to make an Australian team.
Yeah.
So how many of my list there are? So obviously we know the 2, but of my remaining 5, how many do you guys think I got right?
I think you got 0. I think 0.
I'm confident I got at least 1, if not 2.
Wait, how many were there?
Munoz, Vegas, and Tringali, I'm pretty excited about. There's 5 more.
I'll give you 3.
I would get plus odds at 3, but I'm gonna think I got 3.
Okay, well, let's book it. That's just something. Hopefully, we're gonna get this. This will get released probably next week after the Tour Championship. So, let's book it and see. We'll figure out something to put on it.
If I got more than Rick Gaiman, because his list was woof. Like if that happens, that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be pretty happy because that means it's a good thing for the PGA Tour.
All right. Speaking of bets that we've made, we made a couple season-long bets, didn't we? I have no recollection of what they are.
Oh my God, we did. Hold on, we did, and I believe. Hang on, you don't, Jordan? Are you just trolling me?
I have no recollection of what they were. I just remember us making them.
I completely forgot. But yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I have a feeling that I'm out like $15 if I bring this up. So.
No, I have it written down, not just with me. So you
know what it is?
Rehash it now.
Tom Hoagie making Eastlake. It was the debacle. It was the Jordan. I told Jordan that if I was to take Tom Hoagie making Eastlake, I needed 3-1. Then he re-offered me the bet, and I said I was taking Tom Hoagie not to make Eastlake. And then Jordan took the other side of the bet at 3-1 odds that I had set. And there he is in the field.
Hoagie. I love Tommy Tables.
I know you do. So there you go. I will actually Venmo you that $15 because I think that was a real thing that I need to eat my words on. So
that's
anyways. Great spot to wrap up the show, wrap up the season. I think as a notice to our listeners, obviously the PGA Tour season gets a little choppy here for the next handful of weeks. So we will likely be off and on a bit until the season picks back up. I know we want to probably do something around the fortnight, do something around the President's Cup. And so there will be some content, just not quite as regular until we get back into the heart of October. So of course, you can always find our content on our YouTube channel, Reading the Green, on any of the podcast platforms. And we will be active on Twitter regardless, at RTG Podcast DFS. And we will talk to you at some point about the results of this PGA Tour season. See ya.